We've came so far and you're still here. That means you're not only here for the render, but you want to get into the nitty-gritty of 3D printing, which I find awesome because that is really lots of fun. No matter if you have your own printer or you're going to use a service, before printing, we better do some practical checks so that all comes together really nicely. And that is always a good idea, no matter if you're using AI-generated models or your own or imported from someone else. We check things like scale, thickness, and mesh quality so that the printing goes smoothly, no matter if you use your own printer or a POD, print on demand service. I share some common pitfalls so your first print isn't your first fail. It will be easy as pie, really. Here I also remind you of checking your model for very thin strands, wires, tentacles, etc. What counts as too thin is depending on material, model size, and so on. For a simple FDM print like I am going for, 1 to 2 mm thickness seems like the lower end of how thick a single sheet of material should be, without being too brittle in PLA, the most common printing material. Check out the lesson about print on demand, where you can find a lot of suggestions for ideal material thickness. Okay, now let's get into the print prep. Go to File, Import, and choose your desired format like STL or GLB and choose the file. Or simply drag and drop the file into Blender. Flat bottom. First of all, it's helpful when the 3D print object has a flat bottom. Make sure you see the model from the side, as if it was standing before you. You can either use the numpad keys, 1, 3, or 7 for those, or you can use the little widget in the upper right corner of the viewport. So suppose we have such a weird curve on the bottom for some reason, or we want another part to be the bottom. Then we use this little box cutter tool. It's the quickest way to cut out boxes in Blender. Next, we check the size of the object. You can open the N menu on the right side. When you click on the model to select it, you will see the real-life size under Dimensions. To scale the model, press S and move the mouse, and these numbers should diminish or grow. It is not important to get the final size in Blender because we can still adjust it in the slicer and usually also with the print-on-demand services. But still, it is helpful just for planning to have a reasonable size right from the get-go. If you need inches, you can set the units in this little menu on the right. You can also use this little tool on the left to scale the model down. When you click on the white circle, the model will scale just as you do with S. 3D print check. Let's utilize a very useful add-on, or rather extension that comes with Blender natively. Let's go to Edit, Preferences, and get Extensions. Then search for Print, and you should find the 3D Print Toolbox. Click Install, and sometimes you also have to check the little checkmark box to activate it under View Details. Now you will find this add-on in the N menu on the right side. There you have a lot of different things that you can test your model for. If you click Check All, it can take some time to calculate, so be prepared for that. You will see lots of information about what potential problems could be there in your model. You don't have to know everything in detail here. If you need more information, you can ask the AI or you can book a one-on-one with me. But here, it's really only important that this tool can help you fix these potential printing problems. So let's click on Make Manifold under Cleanup. This might take some time, but after a while, it should report what it did on the bottom bar. Now, once that's done, we can just choose a folder where we want the output printable STL to land. And then we can click Export and should be ready to print.